Hello everyone, today's video will be talking about Godzilla X Kong, the new Empire, the sequel to Godzilla vs. Kong from 2021. I just saw this movie in the theaters this past week, but as usual, this will be shot in advance. It was not great, it was a small, slight semi-improvement from the last movie to some degree. It was once again directed by Adam Wingard, who directed the previous Godzilla vs. Kong movie. As I was sitting in the movie theaters watching this movie, I'm thinking to myself, a few months ago, back in December 2023, I saw Godzilla Minus One in the movie theaters. Godzilla Minus One was one of the best Godzilla movies since the first original from 1954. And here's a new Godzilla movie, an American Godzilla movie, but it was more in the traditional Godzilla vs. Giant Monsters B-movie style. I could be wrong about this one. This could be the first time we've seen two different versions of Godzilla movies released during the same time after the Toho Godzilla Minus One winning an Academy Award. How crazy is that and a coincidence? Before this movie was released, recent filmmaker Takashi Yamazaki, I'm not sure I'm saying his name right, I apologize, who recently directed the recent Academy Award winning Godzilla Minus One, he went to an early screening of this movie promoted on social media, saying he liked it and that it was super fun, and he said, be sure to check it out on the big screen. I'm sure Adam Wingard appreciated those nice, kind words. I said this in my last video, I'm sorry for repeating myself again. I was also thinking how 3 years ago I did not see the last one in the movie theaters because COVID was still a risk at the time in 2021. Despite I was vaccinated and things were slowly getting back to normal, but COVID was still a problem due to vaccine limitations at the time. I'm thinking this was a makeup from 3 years ago. I did not miss out on this one, no matter the quality of this movie. But I'll admit, as personal preference, I like Godzilla Minus One better, but that's just my own personal opinion. But at the same time, this movie was still good in its own way. Despite what I said before, I'm semi-glad I did not see the last one in the movie theaters, but I still wish I saw the last one in the movie theaters just for the fun experience of seeing two big giant monsters, icons, kicking each other's butts. But it was also fun for Godzilla and King Kong fans seeing a remake to the original with better effects, but respect to fans who love the original Godzilla vs. King Kong movie from 1962. As I said in my first Godzilla video, Godzilla turns 70 this year. Timing's everything. When Godzilla attacked Rome, Italy, I'm like, good thing I went to Italy last November before Godzilla attacked Italy. April Fools, I'm just joking. I know he didn't really attack Italy. But it was interesting Godzilla sleep in the Roman Colosseum like a cat or a dog. They also destroyed the pyramids in this movie. It was cool to see Godzilla fight a giant monster in Italy, Rome called Skyla. Skyla looks like Ibra from Ibra Horror the Deep. This movie has cool fight scenes with the monster, then Godzilla and King Kong team up like a buddy cop. At first, King Kong and Godzilla fight each other. Then Mother tells Godzilla to put his differences aside, and he realizes he needs to help King Kong defeat another giant monster, Scar King. This reminded me it was a little bit of a reference to Ghidorah, a three-headed monster when you think about it. As James Worrell said in his Godzilla Monsterverse videos, complaining that Godzilla fought at night in the dark, and it was hard to tell what was going on. In this movie, they fight in the daytime again. Yay! James Worrell got his wish a second time again. Little Zuko was a cute little baby. I kept asking myself, is this his son? Did he not know about? Or did he just adopt this baby Kong, raise him like it was his own? What's next? This and Minya show up in the next movie, they become best friends to get their own movie. Zuko vs. Minya spin-off. Ha! As I'm watching the scenes with Baby Zuko, I'm thinking to myself, yeah, this is basically a marketing strategy. So that way parents can buy toys for their kids. And also, I feel like they were trying to appeal for kids too. Seeing King Kong arrive with his own kind, I feel like something out of the Planet of the Apes movie, especially the recent ones. When King Kong was crossing a skeleton dinosaur bridge, I'm thinking the first original movie when the explorers are crossing the bridge and King Kong destroys the bridge. The difference is King Kong does not fall down into a spider pit like in the original when the lost spider pit scene in the original King Kong movie. Just like in the last movie, King Kong has a good, decent, solid written arc, and also in a good way. I feel like it was the main focus of the movie. We see how humanized King Kong is in the series, just like in the original first King Kong movie. I like the ice monster Shima was King Scar's side monster. I don't know why. At first I thought this was Anguirus. To me it looks almost identical to Anguirus, but Anguir's not freeze people like Mr. Freeze. What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age! Ha! Shh! I read that Shimamanja was inspired from the beast from 20,000 Fathoms, just like how the original Godzilla was inspired from the beast from 20,000 Fathoms. History does repeat itself. It once again got a nice visual of Hollow Earth. It was interesting to see King Kong take a bite of something, then he has a toothache. I never seen that done before in a King Kong movie. That was something a little bit different. It was also funny how when King Scar had a tooth pulled out, and King Kong gives him that look, that makes us even. Before, King Scar made fun of his fake tooth. As much as I like Millie Bobby Brown as an actress, but in this movie, I'm glad they didn't bring her character back for this movie. Again, good actress, but in the last two movies, they don't give her much of an arc or personality, and she doesn't do much as we had hoped for. What would they how big she is on Stranger Things that the writers would have given more to do to her character in the last two movies? Compared to the last movie, it's still not even close to perfect. The characters in this movie are just alright in this movie and semi-improved. I'm glad they didn't cram too many side characters to one. They picked basic character the most decent solid written arcs in the last movie. I am glad they bring back Gia for this movie. She was the one good thing in the last movie, I will say that. We see after the first movie, she's having a hard time blending in society and school, not having many friends or social life. She's basically a rebel. Again, cliched, but it works fine in this movie when you watch it. When she goes on the mission with her stepmom to King Kong, she runs to her native tribe. She feels happy, connected, feels like she found her sense, purpose, place, and feels like she blends in. Her stepmother thinks and believes once this mission is over, she will stay with them, but she tells her, wherever you go, I go. Gia still wanted to be with her stepmom. She still loved and appreciated her. She just felt she needed to do something to find herself a little bit as a person, which is something we all do in life when you think about it. Brian Terry Henry reprises his role as Bernie Hayes, the conspiracy theorist podcaster. He was alright in this movie, but again, nothing special or memorable. He's just a plain simple guy who's trying to make it bigger as a social media influencer and has some funny one-liners. When he goes on the mission with Rebecca Hall, her stepdaughter, and Trapper, he gets scared when he sees a pilot get eaten by a tree and he gets tree phobia. It was funny how when he's filmed the experience so he can get more views for his podcast to prove and show he's in the Hollow Earth and was part of the Godzilla and King Kong event. My initial thought was either he was going to drop the camera or someone would have taken it from him and broken it, but no. The character Trapper, what kind of a name is that? Who was King Kong's personal dentist, felt like something out of an 80s stereotypical action hero movie, or Top Gun and G.I. Joe. He's alright, just again, nothing memorable about him. He has a past with Rebecca Hall's character, and she's surprised at him, how he was a lazy student, and yet he became a dentist. Don't ask or question this, accept it for what it is. Like I said in the last video, it tried too hard using jokes that did not work. This one again semi-war had some jokes that were a little funny, but still some jokes were not funny sometimes, and sometimes the jokes were still cheap. While was in this movie, she looked cool despite it was CGI. I know some fans debate that she was thrown at the last minute, it was not given proper screen time. I guess I could see that, but at the same time, I think Mother was rushed, but that's just my opinion. I'm surprised we did not see the twin scientists like in King of the Monsters from 2019. It's never a Mothra movie or Mo without the twins, but I guess they were not sure how to include the twin characters in this movie. This is coming from someone who has never seen the original first Mothra movie, but I guess because I've seen Mothra in so many different Godzilla movies, I have a little knowledge of the twin fairies that are Mothra godmothers, or whatever connection is to Mothra. I like the background story of King Kong Godzilla, what their history was before mankind. It reminded me of the first Alien vs. Predator movie. As I said in my last videos on the Godzilla Monsterverse, he fought in Las Vegas, Honolulu in 2014. In 2019, he fought the monsters in Boston and Antarctica. In the last Kong vs. Godzilla movie, they fought in Hong Kong. In this movie, they fight together in Rio de Janeiro and Brazil. What's next? Godzilla and King Kong fight in Australia, Korea, Russia, the Netherlands, Mexico, Canada, or they go to space and fight on Mars. I just hope they don't run out of ideas where these two giant monsters will fight each other in the future movies. While this movie was not great or perfect, it was just alright. The title sounds like an ex-con escaping prison.
That's our special word for today, boys and girls. X Kong.
In my opinion, this movie feels a little bit the same as the last one with some small, slight differences. It was cool they made up new giant monsters. I look forward to seeing them make up new giant monsters in the future, or maybe use an old giant monster from a past Godzilla movie we've not seen in a long time. Like, for example, Gigon, the Smog Monster, King Caesar, or heck, why not Jet Jaguar in a serious Godzilla movie? Wouldn't it be cool to see King Kong, Godzilla, and Jet Jaguar put their hands out together like a sports team and go, teamwork! Woohoo!
Before I end this video, here are my friend Christian's thoughts on Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire.
So, my opinions of Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire are pretty much the same as my opinions of the first Godzilla vs. Kong movie. It's a lot of fun. Like, it's silly as hell, but it's just fun. I will say the final fight with the Scar King at the end was a little underwhelming for me, but overall it was a fun movie, and I definitely recommend it.
That wraps up my Godzilla videos. There's a lot of fun, but a lot of work to make these videos happen. Despite not being the biggest diehard Godzilla fan, but it was nice to finally watch almost every movie, learn the history, appreciate what Godzilla represents, and how he's become a big icon in pop culture. How the first movie was a serious anti-war drama metaphor for nuclear war, then the Godzilla sequels became big giant monster B-movies. The 98 Godzilla by TriStar was a failed reboot attempt on Godzilla. Then they tried a second attempt at making American Godzilla movies, being like the MCU movies. We were living in a time of two different Godzilla series at the same time. Minus One was the first Godzilla movie to win an Oscar. In a way, this was a makeup for me finally letting myself catch up my wish coming true to finally seeing every Godzilla movie ever made. It's like I went back in time to show the little kid version of myself to finally watch and catch up on every Godzilla movie. Also, thanks to my friends Christian and Bill Burns for being helpful support, making sure these videos were made and happened. I know in one of my videos I mentioned that my friend Christian would mention the anime Netflix Godzilla movies, but I'll save those for a future video down the road. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more good stuff coming on this channel.